Okay, my friends, here it is. The Saturday morning live stream at the Garden Like a Viking headquarters, Zone 5/6, Northern Indiana. Let us get situated. Let us do the sound check, see who is here, and what you guys are growing, where you're at. It's getting hot here now. Let me do the sound check real quick. Chamomile tea. Okay, what did I say in the sound check? It's the only way that we can do it on the live, so you just gotta bear with me. Everybody gotta let me know, how does the sound? Yes? Andrea Brown says, definitely an underculture day. Man, it's incredible how far the underculture thing has gone. I mean, I'm hearing it all over the place. So if we get serious about it, I think we can start a new movement. So thank you guys. Okay, let us see who is here. Whoa, that is hot. That is blazing hot. I got some tea right here. We're about to pour it up here in a moment. Actually, let me just go ahead and do it right now. I'm not getting a sound check from you guys. What did I say in the sound check? All right, then we're gonna start. We got lots to talk about today. Oh yeah, some peppermint, some fresh chamomile, and a little bit of mate. All right? Thank you. What does 5x5 mean, Val? Okay, so let us see here. Andrea Brown, no rain here for like a month. Where are you at? Yeah, we're unfortunately moving into that area with us as well. We are moving into the time where there's not going to be any rain. Look at that. That's not really a good forecast at all for us. So it's going to move into full summer, blazing hot and sunny. And we're in Indiana, northern Indiana. So when it says 87, 88, that, you know, we can get like southern summers. I mean, where they're humid, that's a hot. 88 here is hot and muggy and everything. Like right now, my windows are open and stuff. It's only 74, but I'm like sweating. It's all hot. So yeah, so you have to have things that come into, you have to have practices that, like deep mulching, things that can mitigate, because it's all about building resilience. Remember that, guys. It's all about resilience. So you need to practice the deep mulch methods. You need to have drip lines if you're in that kind of location. Otherwise, you can just use here, like the hand watering and heavy mulch. But this is going to be the test this summer for the plant and pick watering, plant and pick garden at the Viking North Garden that I'm developing for you guys, or refining for you guys. It was actually developed in the 50s, this system, but I've done it over the years, but I'm really refining it for you now. Where once you plant, you never water. You never fertilize, except compost tea foliarly. You never weed anything, and nothing. So we're gonna see how that goes. You never water. I know, it sounds insane, but it actually, well, it works. I've been doing it for quite some time. So, okay, guys. Okay, you guys did not hear the sound check, though. You did not hear the sound check. That is not good. So, oh, wait. How about now? Yes? Let's see. We gotta make sure that that sound is right, guys. Let us see, okay? Chamomile tea. Okay, yeah. See, this is why I like you guys to say about the sound check. So, okay. Good, okay. See, this is why we do it. Thank you, guys. This is why you gotta let me know, because I had it plugged into the wrong thing and totally slipped my mind. There we go. See? Now, this is what the tribe is all about, okay? You can have my back when the things don't go right, okay? So now the sound is loud and clear. Now I can speak with confidence. I was not confident before. So, thank you, guys. Papa McMuffin says, that man just said chamomile tea. That's exactly right. Thank you, guys. Muddy Paws, Meyer Lemons, Cecily Cronin, Val, Thomas Rayfield, Michael Lanning, thank you guys for being here. So, let's see here. There was a question up here that I was going to. Or Andrea, is it Andrea or Andrea Brown? A set it and forget it garden. How dreamy. Yeah, I know. That's the whole. That's the whole thing. Now it's not going to be for everyone. Because it uses a huge sheet of plastic, bunker cover, silage tarp, and we cover the whole area. It's 40 by 50. Okay, and we also have a strawberry patch planted in the same way. Now I've done this before, but not in this way. Well, you'll see in the videos. So it works really good because it eliminates the subsoil, there's so much moisture that is lost from the soil through capillary action, yeah? Through the process of drawing up the moisture through the soil. And it just evaporates, especially when it's windy or if the sun is shining on it, then it evaporates really fast. But if you've got that sheet of plastic, it stops the evaporation. And so it holds onto the moisture even in the dead of summer. Now, you know this, even in a drought, if you go to like a big rock or a piece of plywood or a piece of like tin roofing that is laid on the ground and you lift it up, you will see moisture underneath. And these gardens are the same way. So like I said, it's not for everyone but it is right for certain people in certain situations, definitely. Let us see, we got a PayPal donation. Donald Hughes, thank you very much, my friend, for your consistent contribution. Says June Viking Knowledge membership, and will Dawn dish soap hurt my plants? Thank you for the membership donation. And Dawn dish soap will not hurt the plants. No, it's got tons of other stuff. I mean, it's okay. I've definitely used it before. It will not hurt the plants if you use it in the right dosages. Slightly less than the wetting agent, just because there's so many other surfactants and everything in the dish soap. Much better would be Bronner's, Dr. Bronner's, because it's just saponified oils. Oil with a caustic agent, which changes it. And so that is basically the wetting agent. So peppermint Dr. Bronner's. If you guys are looking for a wetting agent replacement, and I'm saying wetting as in moist, wet, not wetting. A lot of people are saying, what is the wetting agent? But no, it's a wetting agent. And it helps to break the surface tension of the water. So the wetting agent does several things, and I get this question a lot. So one of them is that it helps to break the surface tension of the water. Now, if you guys have ever had now how many of you, let me know, because I know this is common. I know it is. When you're using peat moss based growing mediums, which are all soilless growing mediums, remember, there's no soil in those, but when you use that and you let it go totally dry, you let it go like bone dry till it's almost like powdery, then it becomes, and you try to water it again, you will see an expression of what they call hydrophobic. That's the term. They call that term hydrophobic, where the water will run off. It will beat up and run off. Now, I've done this when I was in Northern California, especially when we would let some of the beds, the indoor beds, when we would let them go dormant and hydrophobic, that's right. When we would let those beds go dormant and get bone dry, and then we would try and wet them again to moisture them, and it literally, you could dump 300 gallons on the two beds, and it would only soak in 1/8 of an inch. That's it. Maybe 1/4 of an inch. And it would take like 2 or 3 days before the water would eventually soak in. Now, that is a problem if you're trying to turn and burn. If you're trying to pull and then replant the same day, that's a big problem. So we started using the JDOM wetting agent. And if you use that at the right concentration, it will break that tension and allow it to soak in. So it's a wonderful thing. It can help it soak into the soil. It can also help to break the surface tension of the water on the leaves, which will help to the pesticides, the natural pesticides, to penetrate deeper into the leaves. Yeah? But the thing is that we don't like to use the wetting agent too much. Over the years, I feel, and the JDOM system is a little too enthusiastic about using the wetting agent all the time for everything. And so for a while, I was about that. I was like, yeah, we're just going to use the wetting agent in every solution we make, in the compost teas and everything, because it just helps it stick to it better. But over the years, I've come to the understanding plants don't really like that. They don't really like that happening. They have that surface tension. They have those oils and things on the plant leaves for a purpose, for a reason. And so you don't like it to be constantly getting washed off and breaking the surface tension. Yeah. The fourth Wiseman, ooh, nice, says soil goes hydrophobic when dry as silicates are drawn out of interior mineral structure, causing hydrophobia itself. Well, there we go. There we go. Taylor Reindl, $10. Thank you, my friend. Says, I have been loving all the shorts and videos. The birds and cutworms also mowed down my weeds' wings. My weeds' wings. Yes. Loving all the shorts. Good. That's what we like to hear, because I definitely, those are easier, much easier to make than full-length videos. But what'd you guys think of the garden tour the other day? So I was a little bit hesitant on it because to me, garden tours were always felt a little bit frivolous, you know, like what are you learning? But I was able to incorporate lots of learning into it. So I did it. And so I like it. And I got good response. So I'm glad that you guys liked it. Hi, Nate. Fourth Wiseman says, hi, Nate. GTSY. What does that mean? What does that mean? So, Look to Nature says, peat moss, specifically sphagnum peat moss, is a fantastic product. It is for many things. It is for many things, definitely. Very cheap, great soilless growing medium. And you can incorporate things like the Viking granular nutrients into it really easily, and it will work. So if you're trying to fill a small bed, or if you're trying to fill a bed, and you just have to do it like fast, and you don't have a lot of compost, and you can't go get trailer loads of stuff, then go to the store like Menards or Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever, and get just the bales of the Sunshine, or of the, of the Pro Mix, and the bales of the peat moss. And that stuff can go a long way. You can fluff it up and it goes a long way. And you can mix compost in with it. You can mix, but it's inert in the sense that there's no nutrients in it, and it's going to take a long time to break down. So you have to remember that. That's why we planted sweet potatoes in there this year, because if you remember, so here's an experiment we have going on, just so we can really get to the bottom of it. That, you know, I've always grown sweet potatoes in like leaf mold combined with some compost, not very rich soil. And had wonderful results. And so last year I used the Viking granular nutrients, and of course I got overzealous on it, and I'm still determining how concentrated it really is. And so I put too much into the sweet potato place, and had huge, long, luscious vines, 20 feet long, crawling all over the place, huge leaves the size of dinner plates. I mean, it was the most beautiful, luscious, sweet potato stuff I ever seen. It looked like we were in Thailand, like we were in the jungle. I mean, it really was beautiful. But that was my first red flag. And when we harvested the sweet potatoes, we saw that there was just like 100 tiny little pencil thin, long, stringy, sort of waste of time sweet potatoes. And they broke real easily. And so I knew that theoretically, well, sweet potatoes, you don't want to over fertilize them, but I had never done it up to that point. So now I have over fertilized them. So this year we're going the opposite way, and I want to see how benign we can really take it. So I got some of that sphagnum peat moss in the bales, the bags. It's like $12 for a bale of it, and it fills up. It'll break in to be a huge area. And I mixed in just a little bit of the native soil to it, about 25% native soil, maybe 40% native soil, and that's it. And then we planted the sweet potatoes into it, sweet potato slips. We got quite a bit of them. So we've got about 50 slips, 50 to 70 slips, something like that. And they're in a bed that is 2 feet wide and 1 foot deep. And so, and open to the ground, of course, which is fertile soil underneath. So they're finally starting to pop. We'll see. We'll see. RK says more bone meal, question mark, for that phos and calcium. As far as, no, you're thinking about the sweet potatoes, it is actually a case of too much nutrients. So it's not lack of nutrients that did that. So no, so we would only exacerbate the problem if we did that. And the Viking nutrients, the granular nutrients that I've sold to some of you guys, is very balanced. And so it's got the perfect ratio of stuff in it. So and it has everything that the plants would need. So I'm not at all concerned that there was a lack of anything. It was too much. It was definitely too much. Ooh, Tammy Harder says, something is eating my green beans and it's not me. Let's come back to that here in a moment, okay? Let's come back to that here in just a moment. Guys, remind me, okay? But there was yeah, okay. 2Gs says, thanks for the garden tour, Nate. Loved how you incorporated it with the garden lesson of love. Yes. See, and that is exactly what I wanted to show to people, is that more important than any kind of fertilizer that you can make, or any timing, any planting by the moon cycle and calendar and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff is good. You know, I mean, fertilizer is necessary, of course, or fertility is necessary. And other, you know, light, water, air, nutrients, and it all has to happen at the right temperature. Those things have to be there. But the secret ingredient that brings it all together, that separates just a gardener, you know, an average gardener that's got a few tomatoes outside. Yeah, we got a few tomatoes, and oh, they do good. You know, we grow them in 5-gallon buckets or something, and they get a couple dinners of tomatoes, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But if you're talking about being like a top shelf grower, like the real deal, then it's a whole different ballgame. You have to learn to speak the language of the plants. You have to go into the garden and you have to do the little things that tie it all together. You have to consistently go into the garden, put your eyes on the place. And I know that sounds silly. That sounds silly. Well, of course I'm going to go into the garden. You'd be amazed at how many people just plant and forget about it and just let it go. And all of a sudden, I don't know, all of a sudden all the plants were gone. Well, it wasn't all of a sudden, really. It happens, and there's a cause to it. And you didn't nip it in the bud. You didn't go out there early. You didn't assess what is going on. You didn't observe, you know, all these kind of things. Or diseases. Well, all of a sudden, the whole crop got overrun with this disease. You could have seen that coming. You could have seen all of that coming. So all this stuff is what I call the love. You have to go out there and you have to see and say, okay, you know, a little handful of compost. Okay, these roots are exposed. Okay, you put it in there. And you know, tamp it down. And you're doing this after a few seasons. You will be able to do this like a sculptor, in the sense that you can already see it in your mind. With the eye of your mind, you can already see the beautiful flowers and the bees and the butterflies and the produce. And you can already see how nourished your body's going to be. That's a huge factor to gardening. We're not just growing plants for the sake of growing them. We're growing them to nourish our body and mind and soul so that we can thrive. So how thriving are you? All of that comes into play. That's how deep it goes for the steward of the land, the earth, the grower. Yes? So that's what I wanted to say about that. And that's why it's so important that you develop a practice, a consistent practice. And before little things become big things, you can always catch it. And I developed this over many years of growing in Northern California, where high stakes, failure was not an option. Not an option. And so you really go out there and you make sure that everything, the tiniest little thing, you have to be on it right away. So then when you come back to vegetable gardening, it's like, most people don't treat it so intensely high stakes, but that's just where I learned. That's how I developed my systems, So DLR says, I'd argue it's not possible to be a good gardener without starting seeds. If you buy a plant from a nursery and plonk it in the ground, it's like buying a frozen lasagna and saying, I cooked. That's funny. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I know what you mean, though. Starting seeds, that's all part of it, of course. I mean, saving seeds, starting seeds, it's all part of the cycle, definitely. If you're just getting into it, then buying plants is not a problem, because it's all about learning how to cultivate the soil. It's that really is what it's all about. You are a soil cultivator. You're farming microbes, not plants, really. And so you have to learn how to tend the microbes. And so for the first couple season or 2 seasons or something, if you need to buy all your plants and not even worry about starting it up, just get into it. Just do it. It doesn't matter. But in the long term, of course, I mean, quickly, you're going to be like, you're going to want to start the seeds. You're going to want to nurture it. There's something so primal, hardwired into us about taking a seed, planting it in the ground, and then nurturing it along the way, and then consuming that and being nourished by that gift of the land. It's a primal thing that activates in us, that connection with the food. And then to take the scraps from that and compost it and turn it into food again. It's incredible. We have to reconnect to that cycle, because we're so disconnected from that cycle in our modern society, guys. And that is the source of many issues, in my opinion, is we are so deeply disconnected from that. So we need to, being connected to that, especially if you have young people that are impressionable, get them into that, get them feeling that connection. Oh, that's where food comes from. That's where nourishment comes from. And get them composting, get them seeing that life comes from death. It is the cycle. It's like this. And everything that is alive dies, and everything comes back like this. So there's my philosophical rant for the day. Now we can get to some questions. I just had to say all of that. So because, I just planted some Yod Fa, guys. I'll show you some seeds that we just started from seed, because you always want to have, remember this, you always want to have backups, and you want to have backups to your backups. You don't want to just plant your garden. Okay, it's all in the ground. We're good to go. Let's just go on vacation or something, then that's it. No, because in the natural world, it's a survival. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. So, for example, a squash plant will produce a squash. Free bird, $20. Thank you for your consistent contributions, my friend. Says, thanks, my friend, for your encouragement. It's priceless. Thank you. Let's see here. Freebird. Also, you just sent another 20 through the... Thank you for the encouragement, my friend. And let's see here. Brian Airy, $5. Thank you very much, my friend. Says, love the tour. Yes. I'm glad. So you guys will get another tour here mid-summer. And you will be able to see how everything is going. We might do a few more of those, just because it's really good to get into the mindset of the grower, to really be able to say, okay, well, here's what needs to happen. Here's the thought process, stuff like that. Because it's those little things that make the difference. It's not just what fertilizer you're using and just what plants you're growing. It's how you grow them. It's how you tend them. Yes. So let's see your cash. Thanks again, Freebird. And thanks again, Brian and Donald. So, let's see here. Susan says, life comes from death. Yes, but death comes from life. Nobody accepts. Right. It's difficult to accept. People think, well, yeah, and they're disconnected from the cycle. But guess what, guys? Everyone dies. In the end, none of us make it out alive. So the let's see here. Now I wanted to continue to comment on a few things here. Now I was talking about the numbers game. So here's why you want to have backups to your backups, okay? Is because things in the natural world, they just die. They just, even if you give them all the stuff that they want, a lot of times they just terminate. And it's a type of intelligence that we cannot even begin to grasp. So don't even try. You can just accept the cycle, the totality of all that is, and you can see it for what it is. And so sometimes they just perish, and that's the way that it is. That's the way nature keeps it thins the herd. It keeps it tight, keeps it high and tight, keeps the genetics strong. It's a natural system. So in the natural world, you will see a game of numbers, like summer squash, for example. The patty pan squash, it grows a big old plant and produces some patty pans. Once you start picking it, then it goes, oh no, something's attacking us. So we need to double our efforts or quadruple our efforts for survival. So it begins to put out tons more patty pans. And in each one of those patty pans is one second, is like 50 seeds in each one of those. Okay. And so if just one of those makes it all the way through the winter, all the way into adulthood and reproduces, then that's enough. Right? Then that's its purpose. And so it's a game of numbers. And so if it produces 30 squash and each one of those have 30 seeds in them, okay? And so every single one of them is not designed to live. Some of them will be sacrifices. Some of them will perish. Some of them will get eaten. Some of them won't even sprout. But a couple, at least, will make it all the way to reproduction again. And so with that in mind, take it easy on yourself in your garden when some things just don't thrive. And that's okay. If all the other things are right, just have things ready to go into its place, like fast-growing greens. Yodfa, because my Shijimisa, the giant mustard, and the new wave mustard, all that stuff is going to bolt already because it's getting hot and dry. And so I just started some Yodfa, which is a Thai type. It's like a rapini, you know what that is? Like a broccolini, maybe that's a thing. But it's really good. Every part of this plant is edible and it's very heat tolerant. And so I'm going to plant that out in about 3 weeks once they sprout up. And the other greens have gone totally to bolt and aren't producing leaves anymore. Then I'm going to pull those up and put the Yodfa right in their place. Yeah? Instead of just, oh, well, I don't know what to put there. Now I've got just either let it stay there going to seed or to replace or to just have it empty. You never have any spot in the garden empty. Always have something ready to go in its place. Good things to do that are fast-growing greens. Collard greens are another good one. Michael Lanning, thank you very much, my friend. Says on live every week I can be. Compost question in the live chat today. Ooh, $20. Thank you very much, my friend. Let's see here. What was the compost? Oh, okay. Compost question. Oh, nice, man. Look at all this technology. This is crazy. So, okay, got it. $20 donation. Thank you via Venmo. Appreciate that, my friend. Okay, and I will get to that 1 second. William Montgomery says, Nate, please comment on pill bug mitigation. I'm having a hard time and the info available is subpar at best. You know, contrary to popular understanding, the pill bugs don't really decimate the plants that much. You're talking about roly-polies, right? And I know it seems like they do, but all of my personal experience and all of my research that I've been able to do, not just people repeating things, is they don't actually harm the plants. They're eating the dead, decaying plant matter and the woody materials and things. So I think that I get a lot of questions about roly-poly bugs because they're all over the place, especially in compost and stuff, but I've just never seen them actually damage plants. I got them all over the place, but I never see them damage anything. So does anyone have any suggestions for that? Or can you show me some legitimate damage that you're positive was from the pill bugs, the roly-poly bugs, on the Discord chat? Share it to the Discord chat so I can see it. So Michael's question says, compost question. I've connected with an organic juice bar here in town. Ooh, yeah. They are donating all of their organic produce, pulp, and kitchen scraps to my compost pile. Wow. I pick up 3 5-gallon buckets every week. In the summer, I'm having a rough time finding enough browns. I'm out of dried leaves already. Any ideas where I can source browns this summer? Well, where are you? I mean, because if you're like in Indiana here in July, the beginning of July, which is just a month away, we're going to have a lot of straw. A lot of straw. People will almost be giving it away. It'll be $2 or $3 or $4 a bale in many places. So, so I would do the straw. You know, I would say the straw, but I definitely. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Grass clippings. You know, spoiled hay. Hay can be good if you're going to hot compost. Hay can be good. Especially if it's the first cutting of hay. But you try and see if the farmers have spoiled stuff. You know, a lot of times you can get the round bales. Okay, you're in Colorado. A lot of times, like my uncle on the other side of the family is industrial ag farmers. I mean, big time farmers with combines and hundreds of acres and stuff. And so he a lot of times has hay, huge round bales of hay that is spoiled. And so when I was doing the Ruth Stout garden like 5 years ago at the Temple Garden, I had like a 50 by 70 plot that I just did Ruth Stout, everything. I got like 8 of those huge round bales. I mean, I was into it. I was into it. And so I got like 8 of those huge round bales. He gave them to me for free. I could fit 2 of them on my vehicle at a time. So I probably made 4 trips out to the farm. And I took those, unrolled those, and just had the whole thing covered in like 3 feet of hay. And then about 2 months later, I came and planted everything into it. That garden thrived like you couldn't believe. It was incredible. But then I ran out of hay, and the weeds started sprouting from the hay. I mean, bad too, real bad. And I didn't have more hay to put on top, and I was tired at that point of going out and getting more stuff. So, boy. Let's see here. Okay, you guys are talking about all kinds of stuff. Oh, the cardboard for browns. Yes, definitely. So to answer Michael's question, then, yeah, look to nature says toilet paper tubes. 3 5-gallon buckets. You're gonna need a lot of toilet paper tubes. I would go to like a dumpster and find the cardboard. Yeah, there's gonna be bits of plastic on it and stuff, but any of you guys that like. I mean, if you compost your kitchen scraps and stuff, you know that there's just going to be plastic in it. All those little stickers on stuff, those those don't compost for a long time. So you'll have rich, beautiful, thriving compost with little stickers in it, and the stickers look totally unchanged. It's crazy. But yes, you can use cardboard, definitely. So that's what I would do. You know. Yeah, that's a hard one without knowing. I mean, if I was there, I would be able to see and do, and improvise. But cardboard, grass clippings, straw, hay, or if they have any kind of, you know, any kind of agriculture. I wonder what the local agriculture is that you could get some of those crop browns from. Yeah, Andrew Barnes says liquor store cardboard is good stuff. Yes, definitely. Um, yes, a lot of people are saying cardboard, definitely. IF says growing tobacco this year. Any tips for that? I do not have tips for that. Sorry. Michael Lanning says, thank you. Cardboard, question mark. Any thoughts? Yeah, the cardboard, earthworms love it. Earthworms love the cardboard. So it's really good to use, definitely. Agate Flores says, I've heard you can add just soil if you don't have brown component. Yeah, I mean you can just the slop, the pulp will compost eventually, but it's gonna really go anaerobic for some time. Yeah, you definitely want the browns in there, and ideally it's gonna be like a grass clippings or a straw. Alex Becker says, when potatoes are done, can you plant something over the potatoes and then harvest them later? You could, yes. It depends how long your growing season is, but you could. You could plant bush green beans over them, definitely. Would not be a problem. Speaking of bush green beans, guys. Speaking of bush green beans. So if you watch the short that I released like a day or 2 days ago about I was just warning you guys that when the seeds start coming up like that, right at that point is when they get mowed down by slugs. Because that little part, you know how they push above the ground like that, that little part that comes above the ground is super tender. It's irresistible to the slugs. And so they will just mow down the whole row in one night. So I was just warning you guys. But then I was horrified to find out. I came back like 2 days later and was like, wait a second. There was a bunch of plants here before. And they were already above ground. And then I started looking around and they were all just dying off. And I was like, what? And so I'm looking at them and at first I thought it was damping off disease, but I mean, because it has been so wet here, it's a blessing, but I situated the garden so that because we've had drought, the past 3 years has been like drought conditions. And so I've got thick mulch all over everything, which to conserve the moisture, but it's rained like every couple days here, and it's been cooler than normal. But that's all changing now. That's all changing now. But so I thought, okay, well, maybe it's been too wet, but not really. I mean, I don't understand how that could be. So then I looked closer and I used this brand. Go ahead and say it out loud to yourself. Yes. I used this brand of magnifying glass. It's a good magnifying glass. And looked at it, and I didn't see anything before, but all of a sudden, I saw something. So let me see if we can do this on this camera. So here is what the seedlings, and I just picked this from outside. Here is what the seedlings look like, okay? How they come above the ground and then they just lose all of their luster. And I pull it up and oh man, it looks like damping off. But then I was looking at it and I saw it sort of moving a little bit. So let's see if we can do this. I really hope it works. Oh. Ready? So there we go. Look at that. Do you see it? Can you see them there? Look at those little things. There's little maggots crawling in there. Look at that right there. I know you can see it. See? You got to look closely. And oh, it just dropped off. You got to use the magnifying glass. So it's really helpful to use the magnifying glass. See? And that's what you got to do, guys. That's part of the love. You got to go out there and look at it. And then you've got to examine it. And you've got to see where you're going wrong. You see that little thing right there? That tiny little maggot? That is the bean seed fly larva. And they will decimate the bean crop. Okay? So if your beans aren't growing, that's right, bean seed fly larva. And they probably came in the seeds that I got this year because I've never had this issue before, ever. And so it could be, hey, you're right, I do floss. It could be from those seeds, definitely. I've never had this issue, but I knew immediately what they are. I've seen this issue many times. And so that is the death knell for your bean crop. They can also do peas as well. But see how it's just squirming around like that? You do not want these things, okay? So that's what it's all about. Now you have to go and you have to examine and break it apart and look. Oh man, look. Okay, look. Okay. Can you see how many is in there? I don't know if you can see it, but there's like 6 of them in there and they're all crawling around. So that's obviously what happened. And I brought these in here to show you guys. So what are we going to do? Are we going to feel disheartened? Are we going to just give up? Are we going to just throw our hands up and say, well, chalk it up as a loss? Ha! Snot. Are you kidding me? Not even close. The season is still young and we are full of fire. And this is unacceptable. This is perfectly unacceptable. So what we are going to do is we are going to dump, and I'm saying that lightly, but also kind of really dump JDOM sulfur and JDOM wetting agent on the soil. We're going to, yeah, I know, sorry, but it's going to make it so that they are going to melt. We're going to melt them. And so then in a couple of days, we're going to replant. Now, is that going to irritate the earthworms? Yes. It's not going to kill them, but it will irritate them. But that's just part of the game. That just has to be part of it, because otherwise we're not going to have a harvest. And Dread says, just water less. I have not watered at all this whole year. So it's the rain. But we're going to take care of these because that sulfur and that wetting agent is going to nuke these things. All right. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah. P. Morton says, time for some deep tillage. No, not here. I'm resisting. This whole plot is no till, and there's no need to till here. So all of the methods that we do here is no till, and they are organic mulches and stuff. But we do tilling at other places. Don't get me wrong. Tilling has its place, absolutely. And I recommend it in a lot of places, especially green manure crops. But here on the home garden, on this manageable scale, there's no need for it because we can manage all of this stuff. You know, this plot I'm talking about is only like 6 by 6, you know, and it's in the ground. So we're just going to nuke it with the JDOM solutions and replant, and that's going to solve it. So let me see here. Gary Smith, thank you very much, my friend. $25 via PayPal. Says, keep up the good work. Love the garden tour. Nice. I'm glad so many people love the tour because we can definitely do a few more of those. But rest assured, there will always be incorporated knowledge in there. It's not going to just be, look at my plants, look at this, look at that. I don't get into that so much. But you know, the videos at some point, guys, are going to really change a lot. I mean, in the sense that when we get the land, when that becomes closer to becoming a reality after the books are out and stuff like that, then the videos are going to obviously change. There will be more like you will come with me and see potential land plots and go through the thought process. And then, you know, we'll get chickens, we'll get, you know, a milk cow, we'll get a few things, we'll get things like that. We'll set up multiple different garden, totally different. We'll have a whole back to Eden garden. We'll have a whole plastic sheet garden like that as exemplary gardens. Yeah. So there'll be all kinds of stuff. It won't just be little tutorials like that anymore. But until then, definitely. And Sam Potzik says, Viking dog mascot. Yeah, we will definitely be getting a couple dogs as soon as we get the land. I love dogs, man. Love dogs. More than cats. I hope she heard that. Hogue says, I don't see the tour on videos or live tabs of the channel. Am I missing something? It's the last video that I put out where I said doing this will solve 90% of the issues. And this was being a hands-on grower, showing love to the garden and to the plants, going out into your garden every day and examining stuff. And just, you have to love it though. You have to, it's not just a, I gotta go out in the garden again. No, if it's like that, then you're doing something wrong. Your system's wrong, or maybe it's just not for you, you know. But for those of us that have the spirit of the earth in us, we love to go out there in the bare feet and connect, put the hands in the soil, smell things, taste things. Maybe we'll have somebody with us. We'll go around, have them tasting all the different herbs. And most people are like, oh, I've never tasted that before. Oh, wow. Those are great experiences. CyberCert, there we go. Says the garden tour was very valuable. I see I'm not planting densely enough. I would appreciate knowing how dense to plant common crops. Yes, that is a big, big factor. So many people do not plant densely enough. And they're losing so much space. Not only that, but they have so much space for weeds to come up. And the soil needs to be shaded out, because in the summertime here, it's going to get hot and the blazing sun, and plants can take hot air temperatures, but almost no plants like hot root zones. So once the root zone gets hot, then you get all kinds of issues, especially with raised beds and stuff. And pots and containers. So you need that shade. You need it to be densely planted. Now, when you look on the back of the seed, well, the seed packet, in my experience, is no guide whatsoever. None whatsoever. I mean, really. And they're talking about, well, I just don't know. I mean, when I look on the back of, okay, so let's see here. So this is the Tithonia, the Mexican sunflower, which I love these things. And it says to thin them to 18 inches. That's 18 inches. Okay. One of these plants, if it's grown properly, will have a stalk on it like that thick, and it will go up. It will be like 6 feet wide, or even more than that. It will have dozens of these blossoms on it. I've grown them like this, and so they get huge, and they're all stretched out like this. 18 inches. That's going to stifle them big time. So that's not the spacing for that, but you just got to know. So you got to put it further apart and then put little things underneath. Let's see here. I think I missed let me look up here real quick. Did I miss? Teats Treats, $2. Thank you, my friend. Says incredible rant. Best ever. Ooh, nice. I wish I remembered what that rant was about, but thank you very much. So let's see. Let me go back down. Sorry, I can't be missing any of these. Mississippi Soldier 369, $2. Thank you very much, my friend. Why are my grape leaves yellow and grapes turning black? Zone 8B. Guys, can you help Mississippi Soldier as far as why are the grape leaves turning yellow and the grapes turning black? Because I don't have any experience growing grapes. So I can't say. But there's so many factors involved. To growing anything. I mean, when people ask a lot of questions about, hey, what is the issue? Here or there. I'm like, well, how much water is it getting? What kind of organic material have you added? What kind of pest pressure or weed pressure is it getting? So there's so many different things that could be happening. Jagman says, so I can still plant more beans now? ? The pill bugs ate some of mine, especially by my porch where I want to do the beans for privacy wall there. Absolutely. Where are you located at? I mean, well, anywhere, no matter where you're at, you can absolutely plant more beans right now. Definitely. Soak them overnight though. That will speed up the germination by like several days if you soak them overnight in water. So AK Froggy says, maybe this is normal, but my Egyptian walking onions flowers aren't producing seeds. They're producing bulbs. Is this normal? That's all they produce. They produce bulbs, bulbils. You will see. They grow, boom, fall over. If you guys, we still got more spaces. If you guys want the Egyptian walking onion to get in on that order, send that down payment or send that deposit to... it's $40, right? Yeah. To PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, and then I will send and make sure you give me your address, and I will send them out in September when they all come in. Reefer Madman says, I'm in 9B. Okay, you're talking about grapes. Uh, so Lisa T says, Nate, I have Tithonia seeds and packet says 6-inch height, not 6 feet. Well, mate, there's only one kind that I know of. Maybe you have a dwarf kind, or maybe you should look again, because they definitely get at least 6 feet. I mean, 7 feet, really. They get huge if they're allowed to. Now, maybe if you plant them 18 inches apart, they won't get that big. But I like to do it. I do the same with zinnias. And so I'll plant, instead of planting a whole bunch of them where they only just get kind of big, just plant one and put a huge thick tomato cage around it to support it. And that one zinnia will get a stalk on it like that and will produce like 50 flowers over the course of its life. And it will get huge. It's incredible. So Daniel Klee says, here in South Central Michigan, my Egyptian walking onions already have lots of bulbs at the top. This usually happens in July. Yep. Oh, right. I know. It's an early year for stuff. How many of you guys are seeing that as well? It is an early year for stuff. I mean, the basil's going to seed already. Everything's wanting to go to seed already. The greens and stuff. It's just a strange year. It's going to seed quickly. Someone said something about it is the earliest solstice since the 1700s this year. So, Alex Kunin says, it sucks. I think I love gardening. I was having such a good time. I struggle to feel that way now. I feel really unproductive and behind. I'm not really enjoying myself. Okay, man, this is so common. Thank you for sharing that, because this is unbelievably common, especially young, enthusiastic, and by young I mean not seasoned gardeners will start their seeds super early, get a jump on it. You got to start everything super early. In February, they started all their stuff. Got to get it out as soon as they can. They're covering it in frost covers because it's got to get out as soon as possible. Everything's got to be done as soon as it can be. And they're in a mad rush. And then all of a sudden, they're just overwhelmed. And then the whole garden, they just get overwhelmed. And then, okay, it's just so much work. Oh my goodness. It's so much work. And so they just get the forget it, and so they then the garden just goes to weeds, and they feel like just totally overwhelmed. And by the time you get the forget it's, a case of the forget it's, then you will just forget it. And as soon as that happens, you'll go out there and you'll look around at the garden, and everywhere you look is a project. And that's you just turn around and go back inside. You just go right back inside, because everywhere you look is a project, and that is not pleasant, and it does not have to be that way. That is the difference between really a seasoned grower and like a young gardener, an enthusiastic young gardener. The grower knows that this is a marathon. This is a marathon. Even this season is only part of multiple seasons. And so it's long term. Mother Nature is not thinking like Friday. It's got to happen by Friday, or it's got to happen on this full moon and stuff. It's so much more long term than that. And so you can just relax. But you have to have the systems in place. I'm going to get to this. Daniel Henry, $20 via Venmo. Thank you, my friend. Says, love all your channels. Thanks for growing positivity. Yes, growing positivity. That's a good way to put it. Thank you. Thank you for the contribution. That's inspiring to me. Claire says, I know the project feeling. Evolving to seasoned grower is why I am here. Yes, guys, share your experiences so we can help out with Alex, because this is so common. Alberto, $10 says, happy Saturday, my friends. Thank you for the consistent contribution, Alberto. Oh man, what was I just saying? I wish that I was I have to respond to these. But so many of the so what happens And it doesn't have to happen like that. So what you have to do is you have to get your systems in order, the correct systems in order based upon your needs and goals. Okay? So let me say, for example, and listen, when I was called in to do some consulting to this farm in Tennessee, it's 17 acres, a family of 6. They want to produce all their own food. They've got some chickens, some cows, some goats. They got a lot of this stuff. And they had a huge garden. And they were like, well, we tilled up the whole thing and we planted all this stuff. And, we tried to keep up on the weeds. It was like 2 hours every day they were out there weeding and stuff because they were doing the traditional methods of just the new traditional where you just till it all up and plant and leave it all exposed to the soil, to leave it all exposed. And so by the time I went down there, the whole thing was just covered in weeds. I mean, 7 feet tall, enormous, massive weeds. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to assess, well, what are your goals and what are your capabilities? You have to see that. Do you love to be out in the garden and just weeding the garden all the time? If you do, then do the traditional, the traditional method of tilling it up and cultivating with a hoe in between the rows and stuff like that, leaving the soil exposed. If you love doing a bunch of work, then great, do that because that's what that will be, is a bunch of work. But if you like to be out in the garden with your hands in the soil, but mostly planting and harvesting, then organic mulches is the way to go. Deep organic mulches. Yes. But if you want a no work garden where you just, once you establish it and lay down the plastics and stuff, you just plant and harvest, then that's a whole different system. And that's right for some people. So if that's right for you, then it's a really good thing. Okay, I'm going to implement that system so that I will not be overwhelmed. It's the weed pressure and stuff that overwhelms people. So the Dennis says, using plastic weed barrier as a top cover as weeding 4 days to prepare just 2 garden beds. Yeah, well, that shouldn't take quite, it doesn't seem like it should take that long. But yeah, definitely. I mean, once you prepare it though, then it's all up. Yes, it's all up. And you can just harvest, but it's not for everyone. So my point is to pace yourself and do what is most pressing. So, okay, there's all these things that need done. Do what is most pressing. So in order of importance. So most important would be, what is going to die if I don't do this? And so, okay, we'll do that first. All right. And so do you need to plant that cover crop right now? No, you need to water these things because these are going to die if you don't do it. That cover crop can wait, or whatever else can wait. But the immediate things, that's what you need to do. Someone had a question about Matt 808. Says, my cannabis is in the middle stage of flower and totally root bound in a 5-gallon pot. Would it be wise to ever so gently up pot? Absolutely not. That is going to shock the plant, and it's going to, it's not focusing on root production right now. So absolutely not. Just keep it keep like a drip irrigation on it or something. Keep it well fed, because it's going to want to consume all them nutrients fast. I mean, that is a very hungry plant. So 5 gallons is a insanely small pot. Well, if it's outdoors or greenhouse. If it's indoors, that's actually very big. But anyways, that's a whole thing. So Kim Williams says, my garden brings me peace. My pride comes when I feed my family. Absolutely. It definitely does. Definitely does. Someone said something about the, let's see here. I wanted to see, I saw this out of the corner of my eye. Will Kusumano says, Viking fertilizer is the bomb. Explosive growth. Thanks. Yes, it really is. Explosive growth. So to the point where, well, I might need to dial it back a little bit as far as I always start at the high end, of the fertilizer with granulars and stuff, but I'll probably dial it back a little bit this time. Hello, cowgirl. Donald Hughes says, will symphylans attack 3-foot tomato plants or just seedlings? They'll attack anything. If you've got symphylans in your soil, then it's not going to grow to be 3 foot tall. It won't. Does anyone know what these plants are? They came from a friend's fundraiser thing, and I forget exactly do you know what they are? They're like has anyone have experience with them? They're like a succulent foliage of some kind. I would know the name if someone said so, but I forget exactly. Oh, everyone's saying moss rose. Is that right? Is that right? Yeah, portulaca. ZZ Trop says portulaca. Right? Am I saying it right? That's what I heard that they are. Now, what are they good for anything, or what do you do with them? Because I was gifted all these. So what do you do with them? And how big do they get? What are they good for? Are they beautiful? Do they require a lot of fertilizer? What do they need? Okay, both names are correct. Good. Okay. Good. Oh, okay. So Jay Dixon is on it. Portulaca equals moss rose. Okay, good. Sounds good. Dean Lane says they love heat and drought. Well, that's good because we got plenty of that around here. Jerry Bates, good to see you, my friend, says, I've got more guilt time than production time in my new patch. Ruth Stout potatoes are a success so far. Good. Ruth Stout potatoes. Just make sure you cover them with more straw. ZZ Trop says, they look great spilling out of a tipped over container. Living mulch as well. Oh yeah, so they're like a ground cover like that. Huh? Okay, good. Great pollinators. Okay. I know, it does look kind of, Get Lost in Wonder says, looks kind of like purslane. It does look a little bit like it. They're succulent type foliage of some kind. So, it's awesome. Will Cusimano says, finding black eggs on my kale. You want to eliminate those, whatever they are, you want to eliminate them. So, you can pick them off, or you can spray them with the ultimate slug solution, and that will desiccate them. Yeah. Let's see. William Montgomery says, hey, Nate, do you think the slug solution would be, if it with mind added to the mix, would benefit with mind added to the mix? I'm not sure what you're talking about, my friend. What do you mean? Oh, benefit with mint. Okay. Benefit with mint added to the mix. Not for slugs so much. Slugs don't care about that, although the slugs don't really mess with the mint. So probably, yeah. Definitely. I mean, mint is an all-around general tonic for plants. Definitely. Obviously, the active ingredients are the sodium hydroxide and the wetting agent. Those are really the active ingredients. And if you watch the latest video I made about the tour that we took and stuff, then I've actually started using, I omit the garlic, because doing the garlic is actually a lot of work for the slug solution. And so I'm experimenting, and have been the past 2 seasons, with adding instead 1 ounce of fish fertilizer. So I'm adding the 2 teaspoons. I give the recipe in the video. The 2 teaspoons of sodium hydroxide and the 2 ounces of wetting agent, or peppermint Dr. Bronner's, or any Dr. Bronner's, and then 1 ounce of the fish fertilizer. And that is fertilizing as well as killing the slugs. And so the plants are loving that. Yeah, they're loving that. Oh man, Naturally by Darla hit the nail on the head right there. It says, every year it's like being a new parent. Worry about if I'm doing everything right. Am I feeding enough? Yes, this is so common. And most of the time people are killing their plants with love, killing it with kindness, right? that they want to make sure it's watered, they want to make sure it's fed. Most people are totally overwatering, totally overfeeding. And when I get on, and I rarely do anymore, but when I get on like Facebook groups and stuff about gardening, I see all kinds of people asking questions about what's the problem, with my peppers, or what's the problem with my, and you find out, well, I'm watering morning and night, and I'm feeding it every other day, and I'm doing all these things. I was like, well, okay, those are all the problems. But then you see in the comments all kinds of people that really don't know what they're talking about, giving advice on that and just perpetuating all this stuff, but that's why I don't do Facebook really. I mean, I have a Facebook account, but I don't really get into it. Let us see here. Tango says, is mulching ever a bad idea? If you're in a really wet environment, it can be. If your soil doesn't get good drainage, it can be. Or if you've got serious pests already present of some kind, it can be. Yeah. But most of the time, you're going to want to mulch. Even in the tropics, you will want some kind of thing to keep this from bare soil, Dennis Kusova says, one video included garlic, then another video did not show the garlic. Nice, just answered my question. Yes, it is. I'm finding it's actually not entirely necessary. That's just how it was shown to me, so that's how I did it for several years. But I'm finding that the garlic is the least necessary of all of those factors. It's really the sodium hydroxide that's doing it, and the wetting agent combination. But adding the fish is a good thing. It's really helping. Tango, I think I made my onions rot by mulching. Okay, very good point. And my garlic, okay, so if you see the video that I made, the tour, you can see a lot of my garlic leaves are turning yellow, but the tips of the new leaves are turning yellow, and that is a sign of root stress. It is not that they're hungry. If they're hungry, then it's going to be mostly in nitrogen, which is a mobile nutrient. Nitrogen is a mobile nutrient in the plant. So if the plant doesn't have enough of it, it can pull it from its oldest leaves and give it to the new leaves or the growing tips or wherever it wants to grow. But if it is browning in the farthest, newest leaf tips, that signifies root stress. And I already know this because I was preparing for another bone dry spring and year, like we have the past 3 years. So I didn't elevate them and I mulched them very heavily. All right. And so and now we're getting rain all the time. And so, birthday girl's here. Now we're getting rain all the time. And so they are starting to turn yellow. Yes. So, so let me see a few more questions, guys. A few more questions. So Meyer Lemon says, Nate, my garlic is 3 to 4 feet, but no scapes yet. Should I be concerned? Well, that depends on several factors. One is it a hardneck garlic? Because a lot of people that look for scapes, they have soft neck garlics. And hardnecks are the only type that put out scapes. And so that can definitely be it. But did you say 3 to 4 feet? Let's see this here. Hold on. 3 to 4 feet tall. What kind of garlic is that? Because that's very tall garlic. But I don't know. Maybe it's elephant garlic. Well, even then it should be having scapes. So, yes. But that can definitely happen, Tango. So if you yeah, you can have the onions rot, you can have the garlic rot if it's a wet season and they stay covered in mulch. It can happen, yes. Look to Nature says, Nate, when do you succession plant pole beans for privacy? Now, pole beans, we actually don't succession plant. We just keep them picked. So because they take so long to put up the infrastructure to grow that we don't succession plant them. You can plant them up until about another 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, if you're just looking for privacy, then plant them into August 1st. I mean, but they're not going to produce seed at that point. So that is, that's, man, Jay Brammer says mine is 3 to 4 feet also. 3 to 4 feet. Put some pictures to the Discord chat, please, because that is huge. Because I'm having some of the biggest garlic I've ever seen, and it's probably 3 feet. Well, I don't know, maybe 4, I guess. Okay, Meyer Lemon says yes, hardneck. Okay, so if it's hardneck, then I would not worry about it. I would not worry about it. Okay, let us see here. Okay, so a few more things, guys. We're approaching conclusion. So, guys, if you are not on the chamomile train, you need to get on it. All right. So we got all kinds of good chamomile. Now, remember, chamomile, you have to keep them picked. If you want them to produce a lot of stuff, you have to keep them picked. And so that means that you go out there and I show you in the latest video that I made. But if you go out there and you see the flowers with the downturned petals, even in the sunlight, then it's ready to be picked. If they're still out wide, getting the sunshine in the middle of the day, then there's no need to pick it yet. But if you keep them picked, one plant will produce a lot. And then you can store it all winter, make it for teas, all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. So, Pop Perm, good to see you here, my friend. Hogue said, Nate, your music and Leningrad garlic will be Jurassic. Are you the one that sent me all the garlics? Okay. Because that has been awesome. There's so many different kinds of garlics out here. Several people have sent me garlics, but one person in particular, it must have been Hogue, sent me like 10 different varieties. Thank you, my friend. Now I am finding that the like the Spanish Roja and stuff, this is not doing well. Did not do well. I'm going to do a video on that to show, but a couple of them are huge. I mean, thick and huge and big. So really nice. Really looking forward to it. So big though, and so wet that they're starting to fall over, which is unfortunate, but we might have to harvest it a bit early. So we'll see. But that was awesome. Yeah. So thank you again. Thank you to everyone who's sending stuff to the P.O. Box. I really appreciate it, even if I'm not constantly talking about it. But Look to Nature sent this sunstone the other day. It was super cool. I put it in the thumbnail of my latest video. Yeah. Thank you very much. I like this element. And I forget the name of who did, but sent me some chaga mushrooms. Guys, what's the best way to take the chaga? You make a tea with it or what? So, yeah, it's pretty gnarly. It's pretty gnarly looking. So let me know what the best way to take this stuff is. Miss Native Cherokee says, amazing sunstone. Yes, I know. I really like this. You just hold it. You know how some things you hold and have a really good energy to them? Now, many years ago when I was living in Thailand, a good friend gave me this thing. And at the time I was like, she was like, here, I want to give you this. I've had this my whole life. It's very dear to me. I want to give it to you. And at the time I didn't understand how to appreciate it because I was living out of a backpack and I was like, oh my God, this thing is like 1 pound or 2 pounds. But I carried it anyways because, she was a very dear friend to me and gave this thing to me. And then now I could not be more happy that I decided to carry the burden of this thing through several more countries. Yeah. Okay, a few more things here. Sam Potsick says, I boil the chaga chunks on the stove or crock pot. Okay. Ronald Bay says, make a tea with it. Okay, good. Mom Computer says, chaga is for tea. You can use it over and over. Okay, so we'll just make a tea with it. That's what it sounds like. Someone asked if we could still plant chamomile from seed. Absolutely you can, yes. Absolutely you can. Chamomile will actually, it's like calendula in a way. It will self-seed and replant the same year. It can do that, okay? It can do that. Mom Computer says, Nate, do you think making a biochar pit in the area that has symphyllins in it would kill them off? I don't know about that. I don't know. But we're going to do what James Prigioni, is that how you say the name? We're going to do what he recommends and plant potatoes. Well, we already did that, and they're already coming up. The Austrian crescent potatoes. Because the beets, turnips, parsnips did not thrive in that area. They got destroyed by the Symph Islands. So we planted potatoes there instead. Austrian crescents, which if you guys have not done that, then you need to get on that. The Austrian crescents are delicious. Super thin skins and very buttery and soft. So, yeah, that's what we did there. So we'll see. We'll see if that works. Now, some people have said fumigating with mustard. So basically like a mustard green manure crop. So we might try that as a last resort. Yeah. What's up, Big Will Dog? Good to see you here. Wes, come you says one variety of my garlic has already escaped and is looking sad. I'm harvesting it today. I've never got tall. Okay. Yes, definitely. It's better to harvest garlic too early than not early enough than late. And guys, a lot of people will want to know what happens if you don't harvest your garlic and you just let it grow and you miss some. Now, this is what happens. The bulb that is in the ground will turn into all these different bulbs. See? This, I left one in the ground. And so every clove turns into its own plant and will have a scape coming off of it, just like that. And that will continue to happen and multiply. I've got a plot that's like this big, and it's not really good for anything. I mean, it's not really good. I mean, you can pull them out and eat them. I will eat all these, definitely. But that's not the way to do it. Yeah. So let us see here. Ooh, $20. Thank you very much from Leland Hank. Thank you for the contribution. Says, will slug solution harm caterpillars? My veggies are doing great and have no issues. I have created a few flower beds where I planted lots of flowers to attract hummingbirds and butterflies. The slugs have been eating on them, but I don't want to harm caterpillars since my aim is to have butterflies. If you get the slug solution on the caterpillars, it will desiccate them, yes. But if you spray it at night and don't actually hit them, then it's not going to work, or it's not going to mess with anything. If you get it on the caterpillars, it will desiccate them, yes. That's the point. The cabbage worms and all of that, no doubt. So 1 second. Let's see here. Okay. Jay Bramer says, has anyone seen the worms that burrow through the garlic scapes? Ooh, you don't want those. Wes says, garlic lovers unite. Let's form our own channel. Yeah, really. How about we form it and call it Garden Like a Viking? And we do it right here because we love the garlic. And I'm going to make a video on all those different types of garlic. Yeah? Ooh, Mom Computer says, Jagman, chaga is a mushroom that grows on dying birch or beech trees. Nice. Chaga's the king of mushrooms. Really? Okay, AK Froggy says, chaga, grind it up, put it on the stove for hours, but don't let it boil. That destroys the goodness. Okay, then strain it, add water to taste, and drink it. You can use the same pulp again and again. Okay, well that's good to know. Let us see here. A garlic video would be great. Yes, Claire, that is coming. Definitely. Kenny Green says, explain sunstone. Someone better than me can explain the sunstone. Please. How about look to nature? Explain the sunstone. Garlic like a Viking. Sam Potzik. That's clever. Claire says, caterpillars are not out at night. Not usually. Yes, that's true. But where do they go? Where do they go? Val says, what would be a good plant to plant? What would be good to plant in the garlic bed after harvest? Thanks. Nate, you are my go-to guy. Well, absolutely, my friend. So the best thing to remember, garlic and bush green beans. So once you harvest the garlic, plant the bush green beans. And that is going to charge the soil, because once those bush green beans get harvested and we cut them at ground level, we leave the roots in there, then we're going to replant the garlic in the same bed later in the fall. And that is going to supercharge that bed with the nutrients from, and the nitrogen and all kinds of good stuff from the bush green beans. So the bush green beans and garlic are the two best, definitely. Yeah, sunstone. Miss Native Cherokee says sunstone. You can look through a sunstone on cloudy days and see the sun. Was used on ships long ago. Yes, that is what they say. And I am not exactly sure how to use it, or how clear it has to be. But there's something about the mineral, how it will. Well, you can just see what the sun is, even on a cloudy day, basically. So yeah. And, supposedly it was used by Vikings, historical Vikings, for the navigation. Yeah, I just like the energy of it. But let's see here. I want to show you guys a guest real quick. Why don't you come on over here? Yes, we've got the birthday girl here. Come on up. Come on in. We have Tegan here. Why don't you say hello to everybody?
Hi.
Hi. What is today?
Not really my birthday, but yeah.
Oh yeah. When was your birthday?
Yesterday.
How old are you?
9.
9. Can you believe that, guys? 9 years old. Look, if you guys remember, a while ago she wrote a letter, and I read it on here, and she said, "I would like to meet you someday." So here we are. And what are we doing today? Do you know? You have no idea what we're doing?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No one told you? Oh, well, guess what?
What?
We're going to go hunt snakes.
Snakes.
We're about to go hunt snakes.
And I'm going to have a pet snake.
For a little while. Right? She wants a pet snake.
I'm going to sleep outside with it.
You want to sleep outside with the snake?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, hopefully we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Because we're going to go out to the Viking North Garden, and we're going to go hunt for some snakes. Are you going to catch it if we see one?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
With your bare hands?
Yeah.
No problem.
No.
Okay, you heard it, guys. So I will take some video of the snake. Hopefully, I'm really guys, put a message in to the gods so that we can get the snake. Okay. And then what are we doing after that? Do you know?
Going to Sky Zone.
Going to Sky Zone.
And then I'm going to do a front flip.
You're going to do a front flip.
And go off that, that swing? I'm going to go off it and do a front flip off it.
You promise?
Yeah, I like doing front flips.
She likes doing front flips. Okay, good. Nice. So we're going to go to Sky Zone, which I love. Sky Zone is my place.
I brought a frisbee for no reason.
You brought a frisbee. You like playing frisbee as well? Oh, man, guys, this is going to be great. Okay? So this is going to be wonderful. Look at all these people. Look at what everyone's saying. Look at all these people are saying, "Happy birthday." Pop Hearn says, "You will get the snake." LP says, "Happy birthday." Chris Miller says, "She's a trooper." You're a trooper, right? Are you scared of snakes?
No.
No? What are you going to do if we catch one?
I'm going to put it on my head.
She's going to put it on her head.
I'm going to catch 2 million and keep them all.
Keep them all, yes. Jeffrey says he's going to put you to work in the garden after all that. Well, those little hands could definitely pull some weeds out here. What do you think? Oh, definitely, man. We are super kind to the snakes. Not a problem. Yeah. Because we love the snakes. In fact, they're one of our greatest allies.
My mom scares snakes, but she likes them.
Oh, yeah? Okay, she says don't tell anyone, but her mom is scared of snakes. Okay, we won't tell anyone except 250 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
250 people?
Yep, this technology is crazy. There's people on the other end of that are listening to exactly what we're saying right now.
You can't see them?
I can't see them. I can see what they're saying, though. So, yes, guys, thank you for all the love. Definitely. Look, LP says, "Heck yeah, Tegan, you're great. May your birthday weekend be fabulous." Yes. Sam Potzik, the trampoline park? Yes. Sky Zone, which I love going. Playing some dodgeball with them kids.
I don't really know how to
You don't know how to play dodgeball? Well, that's something we shall have to
My
remedy.
favorite part about Sky Zone is the private trampoline.
The private trampoline?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was one. I like the group trampolines, so you can show off.
I like the private one, because then you get them all to yourself.
Oh, okay. You get them all to yourself. Wonderful. Well, we got just a few minutes left, guys. So let us see. Yeah, Stone Creek says, I dislike when people kill snakes but feed the deer because deer are cute. Yeah, people are naturally sort of afraid of snakes for some reason. Can you imagine that? I know. She can't even fathom that because she loves snakes. But we said, okay, if we catch one, we'll keep it for how long?
2 or 1 week.
2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, 2.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
But to set a date, 2 weeks, we keep it in the tank and then
2.
let it go after that.
Every time we catch a snake, we're letting it go not by my house.
Oh,
By
yeah?
my house. So then it'll come back.
So it'll come back, yeah. It probably will come back to visit her because she'll treat it so kind. Yeah?
Because I know all the snake things since my grandma has a whole room of snakes.
Oh, her grandma has a whole room of snakes, so she knows all the snake things.
Yeah, she has a rainbow boa and a moon snake.
Ooh.
Like the rainbow boa is probably as long as that table.
Oh, she likes those kind of snakes. Well, we're going to catch a garter snake because we don't have any other kind. We don't have like boas or anything like that here, yeah? Yeah, we don't really have, we used to have rattlesnakes and stuff, but no. Chris Black says, any idea how to plant chamomile so it grows? It should grow very easily, actually. You just take the seeds and you sprinkle them out like this.
Seeds.
Yeah, can you smell it?
It
Yeah.
smells like honey. Did you put honey in that?
She said, no. She said, did you put honey in that? I know. That's how good it smells. But it's delicious.
So satisfying.
Did you hear that? So satisfying. Yes. These. Oh, it's so satisfying. Well said. Let's see here. Grandma Sally Battle Axe. She's out at the Viking North Garden. She just texted me and said, I'm terrified of snakes. That's true. She's really, really terrified of snakes, though.
Not even like a ringneck snake.
Not even a ringneck snake? No. Not even a little garter snake. But we won't let her see it. Don't worry. We won't let her see it. Okay?
No, because I'm going to keep it.
That's right. We're going to keep it. We're going to take a pillowcase and we'll put it in the pillowcase at first until we can transport it. And then
I'm going to have 3 or 2 snakes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're going to catch that many?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Definitely.
It can't be one. It has to be more than one.
Oh.
Like 1,000 or 689, 12,600.
Something like that. Some very specific number.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Let's see here.
There's a snake
Do you have any?
emoji.
I know. There's a snake emoji. Do you have any questions for the people?
No.
No? Okay. Do you guys have anything to say to Tegan before we head out on the birthday snake hunt?
Dang, that's a lot. Dang.
I know. Jeffrey says, this child is blessed. I wish her a stellar birthday and 364 happy unbirthdays to follow. Aw, that means a blessed year. Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Tree Rogie says, snakes make a great Mother's Day present. I have to get one for your mom. She'll like it. We'll surprise her with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll love it.
At nighttime. She'll like that.
If she don't like it, she's not throwing it away. I'm keeping it.
Okay. Yes. Okay, guys. So let's see here. Aaron says, the garden looks good at the moment. Hope everyone else's is looking good too. Best to all. Let's grow. Later, fam. Busy day. Yes, guys. So thank you so much for stopping by. It's been a good one. I'm glad you got to see Tegan. Wish her a happy birthday. What are you again? 13?
No, 9.
15?
No, I'm 9.
9. That's crazy. Well, wish us luck. So send us the high vibrations that we catch a snake. We're only keeping it for 2 weeks. Then we're letting it go again, of course.
And then we're going to catch another one.
And then we're going to catch another one, maybe.
We're going to keep doing that.
Right, yeah, we're going to keep
Another
doing that.
snake emoji.
Yeah, another snake emoji. Okay, guys. Thanks for stopping by. You go like this? All right. Tegan would love the tin. Let's see if I want to take care. Happy birthday, Tegan. Yes, they eat worms. That's what we'll feed it. Feed it worms.
And maybe some mice, because they also eat mice.
I don't know if a garter snake can eat mice. Well, a big one could. If we catch a big one, we can.
We'll chop it up. And
We'll chop up the mice?
Yeah, we'll chop up the mice, feed it to the snake.
You'll do that? She'll chop up the mouse and feed it to the snake. That's hardcore. That's hardcore. That's pretty Viking, I would have to say. No, she says it's not hardcore. No, well, hardcore is different than hard. Yeah. But, okay, guys. Hit the like button. It says, oh, wow, tough girl.